How you doing?
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 How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? So what's going on?
You don't want to know.
And now, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo with the Sicilian Corner.
Mikey boy.
Hey, Tom. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Mike, I do have a question for you because I've been concerned, as you know. Can you walk us through the recovery process for the COVID that you had?
You know something? I never met a person, never in my whole life, met a person who's more gloom and doom than you.
Well,
Why don't you assume? Why don't you look at things and say, "Okay, I've got a cold. Big deal.
You know why?
4 days, I'll be better."
You're in denial. You're in total denial.
I'm in denial.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I think
You overreact. You overreact.
Barbara
You
thinks you
overreact.
had COVID. Barbara agrees with me. Barbara thinks you had COVID. I think you had COVID. A few other people think, you know something, Mike, you're in denial. You should be.
You told a few of our mutual friends. All of a sudden, my phone's ringing off the hook. I mean, what the? Why? Why would you do that?
Well, because I was concerned about you, and that's the reason. I felt that.
And I'm concerned about you, but I don't wish you.
All right, so started off. You started off. You called me up the first night. You said, "Tom, I can't breathe." So
I didn't say I can't breathe.
That was the first thing. Then you said you had a sore throat. You said your head was stuffy. You were nauseous. You had a
Never said I was nauseous.
No, I'm kidding, Mike. Hey, you know something? All kidding aside, I'm glad you're better, and I tend to agree with you. I have to admit, you did not have COVID. You had the common cold. For 3
There's
or 4
nothing
days.
you can do for it. You know,
Sure
you just
can.
gotta.
No, that's not true. You take 15 milligrams, 15 IUs of vitamin D. You take 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C. You take, you have 2 Russian standard martinis, a couple of olives, a lemon, and you're good to go.
I had 2 bananas, one in the morning and one at night.
Really?
That was good. And
so
I
Maria-
like the banana skins because I like. It's how I polish my shoes with the lanolin and the banana skin. It really comes out pretty good.
Very nice. Hey, Maria, we want to say hi to Maria Cucciata Bertolicini.
Oh, wow. Where is she? Do you know her?
I think she's in Italy. Italy. And I also want to say hi to our dear friend, Gina. I always pronounce Gina's name wrong. Gina Pernicciato from Chicago. I love Gina.
From Chicago.
She's a sweetheart. Stevie Lane is in the house.
Chicago's an interesting city, huh, David?
It is beautiful. I love Chicago.
Wow. Yeah.
Stevie's in the house. Steve Lane, who sent us a nice email about a PBS, a CNN special, believe it or not, on Italian cuisine.
Yeah.
That you can be watching. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. David, you know, we mentioned Chicago a couple of minutes ago. Lucille got a phone call one day.
Hold on. Maria's in New Hampshire. She's not in Italy. She's in New Hampshire.
Yeah, we get those confused.
It's okay.
It's close. It's close. Anyway, Lucille gets a phone call. It's from Oprah Winfrey's production company. And she got invited to go see the show, but she had to be there 2 days. So she calls up her girlfriend. They got the phone call like 6:30 at night. She calls up her girlfriend the next day. She says, "How would you like to go to Chicago? We got 2 tickets to go see." And this was close to Christmas holiday, David.
Okay.
And she was all excited. Her girlfriend, Audrey, was like beside herself because they were giving away so many nice things. You know, you figure you're going to get something really great because it's like maybe 11 days, 12 days before Christmas. So they get on a plane, they fly out of Chicago, and it's cold as hell. It is freaking freezing. And if anybody's been in Chicago in the wintertime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that water, that lake. It just makes it so cold. It's unbelievable. So they go to the show, and the fella was the head of what the hell was his name? Star Trek. What was the captain's name, Tommy? Captain Kirk. What was his?
Yeah, whatever.
William Shatner.
So they do the whole show, and then at the end, she turns around and she says, "We got some great news for our audience. Underneath your chair take a look, and there's going to be a 5-pack CD of Star Trek shows.
Man, they get screwed.
And they gave her a nice fancy bag and the whole 9 yards. Lucille says, of all the freaking things, you got to get this. I can't believe it.
Yeah, they've given out some good
they've given us some nice stuff. So she went shopping. She went to buy some. She went to buy some perfume or something, and the girl that was waiting on him saw the bag that said Oprah Winfrey, and she saw the Star Trek CDs, and she says, "Oh, I love that show." Lucille turned around, handed her the bag. Have a Merry Christmas.
Nice, very nice.
She was so disappointed. I mean, it was unbelievable. I thought she was going to start to cry.
Shout out to Linda Stefano. Hi, Waya dear. Don DC and Nancy Patera DeMarco.
Yeah,
a lot of our regular viewers and listeners.
Nancy's participated for years with us. She's a good woman.
By the way, you can also listen to us on WCAP 980 on your AM dial. If you're driving or if your computer breaks down, you can listen to us on the radio.
We have a lot of people. We have a lot of people in the Boston area that pick us up on WCAP.
Mikey, what do you think of the colors?
Well, I'm glad finally. I mean, we had this conversation this morning, and I'm so happy. Yeah, I know you look good. You look good.
Oh, you know something.
Instead of wearing black, it's depressing.
You look sharp.
You've been making fun of me for months now because I tend to lean towards darker colors, which I do, and I admitted, because it's just I don't know why. I'm not a dark person. I'm a very positive person. So I have I'm switching it up a little bit with a little more colors. When we're on the air and when I'm walking down the street or lying on the beach, I got some flowered bathing suits now. Red.
How many times in the summertime do you go and lay on the beach here when you're home?
Never. Not.
How come? Why?
Yeah, that's something, Mikey. That's a great question.
It's a mindset. That's what it is.
It is. We go to for some reason, we'll go visit Anna at the beach. She lives up at the beach, and one day a year we may sit on the beach with her and her friends and our friends. That's it. We just there's something and listen, please, people, don't get irritated with me, but in my opinion, there is a tremendous difference between, and the beaches back home are beautiful. The beaches down here are different. What I like about the beaches down here, number one, is the sand is much softer. But more than that, you can actually dive into the ocean into 75-degree water temperature and enjoy it. Really enjoy it. And then the color of the water is turquoise. So it's just, I don't know. You're right, Mikey. It's a mindset. And the other thing is that it's obviously much warmer down here. But I think there's something to be said about lying on the beach in 80-degree weather, 78, 85 in January and February. When we get back home, I don't know why. We just
don't have the time for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, we're on our own property. I mean, I'll sit on our deck. We're right on the river, as you know. So I'll sit on the deck. What I do quite a bit, though, is I'll go out to the dock at our house and sit on the end of the dock, not fish, just, watch the boats go by and wave to people as they're going by.
So when you get somebody that's breaking the no wake zone, what do you tell them?
Sometimes I throw them the finger. So I used to have one of those, those horns that you beep.
I remember that.
And I used to, it happened. There's this one ass, and the guy
got the cigarette boat. The cigarette boat.
This thing goes by about 100 miles an hour. It's as noisy as hell. He breaks every rule in the book. It's probably it's got to be a $700,000-$800,000 boat, right? Every time he used to go by, squeeze the horn, those air compressed horns.
Yeah.
Finally, Ellen and I are sitting on the end of the dock one day, and this jerk comes barreling by, and I hit the horn. What do you think he did? He mooned us. He
mooned you. Oh, even better.
He dropped trowel.
I love it.
And then when he did that, I kind of started laughing and gave him the thumbs up.
That's cool. Yeah. Because they come down, a lot of those boats are docked up at the Haverhill Yacht Club, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And by the way, I don't know if you heard about this, but I'm kind of excited about it. Red Slavitt's son
Yeah.
bought a 125 foot or 155 foot boat.
It was a Coast Guard boat, wasn't it?
It was a converted. I don't want to say a steamship or a ferry, but basically what he's done is they've converted it, and they're going to have cruises every day up and down the river to Newburyport with entertainment, food, alcohol. So it's going to be kind of cool. It's a 155 foot vessel. They bought it in Boston. The thing had been in dry dock for I don't know how long, but they've refurbished it. It's going to be kind of cool. It's going to be kind of cool.
Something. You get a boat like that, and you throw a little entertainment on it, like a duo. Just some playing the guitar and walking around, and you got that beautiful view coming down the river. That would be fantastic.
So Kevin Zabalos is saying that it is a decommissioned Coast Guard.
That's what I was pretty sure. I was pretty sure it was.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that's good. I mean, the Merrimack River has always been a huge asset before it became a sewer, and now that they're cleaning it up.
Oh, big guy, hold on. That's a little strong. Number one. Number
Tommy,
two.
for years, everybody discarded everything in it. Now. They're starting to clean it up, and
I'll tell you,
Rocky Morrison
done a great job. He's done a great job.
I take my hat off to the guy.
I'll tell you,
and his staff.
When they cleaned the river up, that was in the 70s, early 70s, and they really turned it around. This is the truth. I was when I was in college. I took a class. I can't remember the class. It was an environmental class I was taking. And we got to talking. My professor, he was on the Saco River Corridor Committee, and they were having problems with the Saco River being polluted.
Right.
And so he asked me. They were going in front of the Senate at the State House in Maine, and he asked me to do a little research on the Merrimack so that they, just kind of relate to them how they did it in back home.
Okay.
And so I was a nervous wreck. I was a freshman in college. I had to put a jacket and tie on and drive up to Augusta, Maine, and sit in front of this. This committee, explaining to them, what happened in Massachusetts, and they thanked me. And the Saco River actually now is very clean, very clean.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. I think the one thing the Merrimack has going for it that the Saco River doesn't is its current. The Merrimack River, for 130 plus miles, is the third fastest flowing river in the United States. So that really helps a lot, Tom.
Big time. As a matter of fact,
especially after we get pouring torrential downpours and the sewer system gets inundated, and they have to release everything. Right. And they're making promises that they're going to make sure that they keep everybody up to speed when they do have to release stuff. So I think there's been a lot of improvement. Got a lot more improvement to go.
Yeah, Laurie Trahan has been a big part of that, and I'm on their notification list, and their notification list, and they're making progress where they really think that they're going to be able to get a good portion of the funding to start the cleanup, because what they have to do, Mike, is it's like $1 billion
rebuilding,
$1 billion proposition, because what they have to do is they literally have to expand our sewer system from like one pipe to several pipes, because it gets overburdened, and then they have to reroute stuff. So
hey, Tommy, going forward, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to get the company that's in charge of the Lawrence Dam, the Italian company, Enel, I think it's called, ENEL. And I'd like to have a representative come on the show and
absolutely
explain to us, like the fish ladder, how they count the different types of fish that go upstream.
Is this where the wall is?
Yeah.
Hey, how many people live under there?
Well, you can walk from the South Lawrence side all the way over to the North Lawrence side. When you walk underneath the fault, it's extremely slippery and extremely dangerous. But there used to be access before they started using the hydroelectric plant. So as kids, we used to walk from the St. Lawrence North Canal and walk underneath the falls to get over to Water Street. It was crazy, I know, but that's what we used to do.
Crazy. Hey, a shout out to Sandra Collado, Andy Parisi. I don't know if we said hi. Andy used to canoe up to Saco. Saco River is great. It's a great thing.
Andy's good people. He goes into Savastano's restaurant a lot. He's a regular.
Really?
Yep, he's there all the time. He likes going in for breakfast. He loves to cook too.
Mike, before we take a break, how's Johnny doing? How's Savastano's doing? Are they doing okay?
I haven't talked to him in a couple of weeks.
Well, not
he's hanging in there. He's doing okay. And the place is immaculate, I have to say. But there are a lot of people that are still apprehensive, and I get that. But something you just, as long as you take precautions, and common sense.
You got to do
common sense. Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. You know what I want to talk about, Mikey? I was pondering. I was pondering about some of the nicknames for some of the guys in our neighborhood. I want to talk about that because people don't have nicknames anymore. Hang in there.
Anymore.
Right. We'll be right back.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine is pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries, serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State inspection station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
This is Cindy,
and Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Dracut, Massachusetts,
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
All right. Before we get into cocktails with David, a couple of points someone just brought up. Number one, a shout out to Billy Schofield. I know Billy is watching. Billy, without getting into details, you did a fabulous job for the St. Alpheus Society. Congratulations. We're all proud of you. And New Orleans Steve is actually, David just posted it. New Orleans Steve Lane, I think we mentioned this last week. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, he started a GoFundMe page, and I think he's raised either $10 or $15 million.
Wow!
So, what he's doing, he's done such a great job. If you have a restaurant and you've had some problems, all you have to do is go onto the Barstool. From what I understand, go onto the Barstool Sports, answer a few questions, and I think they'll help you. They just recently featured Park Lunch in Newburyport. They'll bring you on, talk about your business, and then what they'll do is, based on the size of your business and how much they can help you, they'll throw you a few bucks. So if you're a restaurant owner, Johnny Savastano, if you're a restaurant owner and you can use a few bucks, just go on Barstool Sports and follow the directions.
There's the link. There's the link on the screen.
They're good. David just posted the link, so that's
perfect.
That's really good.
That's wonderful. Really
Steve Lane, thanks for the info. We did mention it last week briefly, but it's good to know. Good to know.
Thanks,
all right,
Dave.
so David, cocktails with Dave. What do we have this week?
Well, I opened up a wine earlier in the week. One of my favorites from a winery called Cosentino. They make wines from the $9-10 range up to $60-70. So they cover the gamut. And they make one called it's just called the Franc, and it's 100% Cabernet Franc, which is an old Bordeaux blending grape. It's actually the father of Cabernet Sauvignon, one of the parents, I guess. And for those who don't know, Cabernet Sauvignon came from a mix of Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. Those two guys got together and created Cabernet Sauvignon, which is now a huge grape, obviously. So Cabernet Franc is one of my favorites because it's it has smoky and peppery flavors to it, and I like it a lot. And it's a nice warm wine. It's not a great summer wine. Yep. So it's great during the winter when you're not when it's cold. You're cold. You touch your nose. Hey, my nose is cold. So I wanted to make a cold. We just lost Tom. I wanted to make a cold. He's playing with the wires.
That's good. That's good.
I wanted to make a cold.
Let him go.
I wanted to make a sangria that wasn't warmed, but it is warm, if you know what I mean. So Cabernet Franc. I put in some blackberry brandy, and I used the Market Basket Clear Choice grape water to add a little bubbles to it. Tom's back. There he is.
My finger slipped. I'm sorry.
You're doing. I could see this happening. Anytime Tom starts doing this, something bad's going to happen.
Absolutely. Can't keep your fingers to himself.
Actually, I got to tell you what happened. I wound up in somebody else's StreamYard.
No, I bet you did. Yeah, you were on some other guy's show, right? So I wanted. So I don't know what you heard, Tom, but I wanted a sangria that is essentially room temperature with the wine and the blackberry brandy. But when you add the brandy and the wine together with a little bit of the bubbly stuff, a little bit of non-alcohol. Yeah. Just to break that up a little bit, you consume it and it warms you up, but it's not a warm drink, and that's what I did. And it's really good. I really like this wine. In fact, I ordered another case.
David, do you enjoy having just a glass of wine with the meal, or do you always have to mix?
I've been doing lately as I've been consuming the wine after the meal. I don't drink it too frequently with the meal at this point.
Oh, you don't?
I've kind of switched. I used to, and there are some wines that are really good with particular foods. My most favorite is a Petite Syrah with a pork roast. For some reason that's really
you mentioned Cabernet Sauvignon.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, one of the better ones that are out there is the Robert Mondavi Reserve.
Oh yeah,
and 2018 was a fantastic year, and boy, I'll tell you, that wine is so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And they use bourbon barrels to age it in.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Oh man, let me tell you,
bourbon barrels works really well for Cab Sauves. I tried a bourbon barrel Zinfandel, and I didn't like it as much. But Cabernet Sauvignon, awesome in bourbon barrels.
It goes with, nice dish of pasta, whatever you're having.
Yeah,
awesome.
2018 is a good year for California wine. 17, they've kind of bypassed because that was the year, if you guys remember, they had a lot of fires and drought.
Fires and
drought really cut the amount of grapes that they harvested down. So a lot of wineries just kind of really quietly released 17, and those are pretty much gone at this point.
Well, sometimes the grapes that are stressed on the vines that they pick late in the season, that's where you get your sweetest wine. Those stressed grapes are, they look like little BBs. You said these are terrible. They look like they're all dehydrated.
Right.
But the wine you get, it's unbelievable. It's like the ice wines. That's why ice wines are so expensive.
Yes, they sit on those vines.
The grapes stay on the vine a lot longer.
Before we get into the nickname thing, David, so do you like dessert wines, or are they too sweet for you?
They generally are too sweet. I do like the ice wine. I had a really nice ice wine one time we were in Canada where there's a lot of ice wine. There was actually a Cab Franc, oddly enough, ice wine. So it wasn't a clear one. It was kind of pinkish.
Yeah.
That was really good. The problem is it's so sweet you can't have a lot.
One of our sponsors, Restaurante Uno, they serve a frozen iced martini out of wine. And I have to tell you, Tommy, it is outstanding.
I'm sure.
It really
Mikey,
is.
What was the name? There's a little winery in Southampton, New Hampshire. I can't remember the name of it, Mike.
Yeah.
He's got fabulous dessert wines, David, not too sweet. I can't remember. Do you know
he's right on the border. He's right on
right on the border of the Amesbury Southampton line.
There's a couple near there because I went to one.
Yeah, his dessert wines are actually very good, and they're not very sweet.
I'm not into really sweet wines, Tommy.
I'm not
wines.
either. I'm not either.
But
I'm really not a wine drinker.
I am, and I enjoy it. And I've been finding this Robert Mondavi Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon, of all places, up at Shaw's.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was in there yesterday, and they had 7 bottles on the shelf. I took them all.
Good for you.
Did you really?
Yeah. I put them in my little wine. My wine rack took a beating. I don't know why. Maybe because we're home so much. I don't know. But my wine rack was completely loaded. And
there's one called
I depleted.
What is it?
Flag Hill?
No.
There's one.
It's in Southampton, New Hampshire.
Oh, Jewel.
Jeweltown.
I've not been to that one. Do you like that one?
It's
nice.
Very small. He's got very good quality wines. I mean, he's got like the Chardonnays and stuff, and they're mediocre. But his dessert wines, that's what he specializes in, and they're very, very, very good. He's got different flavors, but they're not real sweet, David.
Right.
I think you'd enjoy them, and they're inexpensive, $8, $9, $10 a bottle. So,
yeah.
Well, there are certain grapes that'll grow very well here in the New England climate.
Right.
And that's why we're starting to see these little Ma and Pa vineyards popping up.
Yeah.
You know, and they're kind of referred to them as boutique vineyards, and they specialize in. What was the vineyard, Tommy, that we went and we did a fundraiser for that little girl?
Zorvino.
They sold that, I think.
Yeah, we did a remote there.
We had no preparation at all.
No, that was good.
And we helped out that family. I think we raised. How much did we raise?
$7,000.
Oh, 7,000 plus.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Before the break, Mike, I was talking about how the nicknames, the Italian, of our neighborhood guys, that's kind of gone by the wayside. It's funny because Sandra Collado her father, Joe LaRosa, his nickname was Lucky Larry. Now, your dad was your daddy, your grandfather? Who was Big Mike?
That was my granddad.
Your grandfather was Big
To
Mike.
me, in my eyes, I was the only one that called him Big Mike. But when I was a kid growing up, and I'm talking 7, 8 years old, I would go to his farm with him. I loved spending time with him. The guy was like Paul Bunyan. He could pick up rocks. He was my idol. I just couldn't believe how strong he was. So I always referred to him as Big Mike.
Big Mike. We had in our neighborhood, we had there was a little short Italian guy. His name was
Would you call him Stubby?
Short. We used to call him. His name was Camarada. As a matter of fact, Ned used to tell us about him. I think his real name was Frank Camarada, but they used to call him Shorty. There was Shorty Camarada. Remember Butchie Chaka? Do you remember
Sure.
Butch
As a matter of fact, I was telling Barbara about him because he used to get us on all these gambling junkets to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And we were like 23 years old the first time we went. His daughter, Donna Marcello, was very close friends with Lulu. And we used to go all the time to Vegas. We could go anytime we wanted. We used to stay at the Dunes Hotel. And I got to tell you, that hotel, it killed me when they imploded it, David. I mean, I had tears in my eyes.
Really?
That place was, they built the Bellagio there. But it was a beautiful, beautiful property. Like if you had red hair, David, you became red automatic. And everybody would call you, hey, Red, hey, Red.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't very flattering if you wore glasses. You know, hey, Four Eyes. That wasn't complimentary at all. But, you know, you mentioned Ned Leone, God bless his soul. And Ned had, back in the 40s, because so many boys had the same name, you know, Tommy, you had Tommy this, Tommy that, Tommy this, Tommy that. So they had to come up with nicknames because if you said Tommy, 7 guys would turn around to look at you.
That's exactly the way it worked. I mean, we had Frank Lascola. They used to call him Finney. The reason being, he was always asking to borrow $5, so his nickname became Finney. My father's name was Santo Zappola. He never, ever went by the name Santo. He always went by the name Sonny. Everybody called him Sonny.
Ned had, when Ned did the stories for the Tribune, and I have his original transcripts here at the house, he talked about some of the nicknames. And again, Tommy, this is before our time. All right, this goes back into the 40s.
Yeah.
And he had guys like Mosey, Sam Ham. Guys
Those names
like
are classic. Those nicknames are classic.
Redo. I mean, I love that one. There was one guy, they called him Ha Ha because all he did was laugh. And the best one that Ned told us on the air, Tommy, I think you're going to remember, was Flywheel. This guy's nickname was Flywheel.
I remember that.
Where the hell does that come from? So, I mean,
you know, let's see. There's Sandra is saying she had an uncle that was a contractor, right? His nickname was 2x4.
I love it. I love it. See,
that's classic.
Well, that is absolutely.
I like it.
Sandra.
Peter Schiappelliti, his son Luciano, frequently called Luch. You know what I mean? So those names, though, today, for whatever reason, those nicknames seem to have gone by the wayside. But everybody, especially the old timers, you know, Pat Fiorino, they call them Patsy Fiorino. You know, I mean, it was a you know, those were good days, and unfortunately, nobody has nicknames anymore. But I think part of it is
Ned had a friend called Triple F. Triple F.
Triple F.
How do you come up with that? I mean, that's amazing. That's great. You know something? This is nice. I like this.
Frank Taffarella lived across the street from us. What do you think his nickname was? Taffy.
You know? There you go.
Did you guys have nicknames?
I've always been called Zap my whole life. I mean, from day one, all of my friends call me. Most of them call me Zap. A few call me Tom or Tommy, but I would say 80% of them call me Zap. Zap, how you doing? So I mean, I was always, you know, just because obviously of the last name, but we had there were some real characters, man. There were some real, you know, we had Baggy Pants. That was another guy. We had another guy. His nickname was Contact. I don't even know how they come up with these names. Another guy's nick. What the hell was there was some? I can't remember his name. It was an Italian guy, but they used to call him the Sower because he used to walk around speaking in Italian and he'd always be moving his hands. So they would call him something about the Sower, that he was a sower.
That's a good one. That's
just crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
We had one guy was top notch when it came to stealing stuff. You know, he'd walk into a little variety store. He'd walk out. He had tabletop pies under his coat, Hershey bars, and we had a great nickname for him. But I'm at a loss to think of it right now. This guy could pick anything, Tommy.
Sticky.
Pat the Bug. Pat the Bug. He was. Pat used to sell stuff that I think I mentioned this several weeks back, but Pat always seemed to be selling merchandise that seemed to have fallen off of a truck somewhere. Freddie McNeil saying he's got a fella here in Scotland. He's 6'5" and his nickname was Tiny. So pretty interesting.
I love it.
Joey Bag of Donuts. But
Sandra said she remembers him. Go figure.
Really? That's funny. That's yeah, they all had nicknames, and hey, it is what it is. David, is it time for a break, or am I reading this wrong?
We could do a break. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, good. Let's take a quick break. We come back. Mike wants to know where they went. Where did they go? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Drives me crazy, Tom.
Well, we'll talk about it right now.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and we can never agree. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with great Italian cuisine, Capri Seaside Italian Grill. Me, I love the elegant romantic vibe, Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that'll make it the place you want to visit every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of an even cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Music Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all these great places, and they treat everyone like they're Mike Lamazzo. And best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all of this fun is right at your fingertips. We can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out about all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at NorthshorePavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
This is Cindy,
and Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Dracut, Massachusetts.
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back. Mikey, where did they go? Where did they go?
You know something, Tommy? There were phrases just like there were nicknames back in the day. And I really don't want to sound like my father. I really don't. But there were a lot of phrases that all of a sudden you never hear them anymore. It's like they just disappeared off the earth. A phrase like hunky-dory. Did you ever use that at all growing up? I know, that you were born in the 50s, but hunky-dory was a phrase we would use quite a bit. And, it actually, the phrase, I guess, had its origin in a little Japanese street in Yokohama. And the sailors on leave would go, and it would be the equivalent of like our combat zone that we had in Boston. So the sailors would sow their oats and have a good time. And the name of the street was called Honcho Dory. And when the sailors would be walking around and they'd see some of their mates, one guy would yell out, "How you making out?" The other one would turn around and say, "Hunky dory." And that's basically a nickname for that little street that they were on because they couldn't pronounce it.
Well, what's interesting, and you're making a good point. People, we should do a segment on this someday where how do phrases get coined? Who coined this phrase? Who coined this phrase? How did it originate?
You look at there used to be a word that we used a lot to call moxie.
Yeah,
and basically it was referring to the guy had a pair of stones. He had a lot of courage.
But did it have anything to do with the drink, Moxie?
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Oh, really?
But, speaking of the drink, I don't know if you know this, but that Moxie was actually medicine that was developed originally. And it was actually developed, the tonic was actually developed in Lowell in 1884.
Yeah, I think I have read that.
I didn't know. But the word Moxie, the word Moxie wasn't derived from the tonic.
See,
it was just a word that came up. It was just a word that became commonplace. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. That was another phrase. You never hear of that. And, where did it come from? Maybe the theory of evolution. I don't know. But if people looked at your back, they'd have some questions. They would have some questions.
That's.
And I'm being nice. I'm being nice. But you do have quite a crop.
And number two, quite frankly, tomorrow is my back shaving day. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
What is it, every 3 days?
Oh, once a month, once every 5-6 weeks. And I'm making pillows out of it.
Beautiful.
And yeah, it's kind of cool. It's like down. It's like a down vest.
David, I don't know. Again, there's such an age difference here. Heavens to Betsy.
First of all, between you and David, quite frankly, there's a huge age difference.
22 years.
Yeah. Continue. David, just think about this.
Heavens to Betsy. I could be your father, David.
Hold on, Betsy Ross. It has to do something with Betsy Ross.
Is that Betsy Ross? Yeah, that's true.
Something I couldn't find out where that came from.
What the hell is the purpose of this?
Well, no, there was too many.
What you're doing
too much
you're
speculation.
throwing out these phrases. You're doing no research. So you come out with a phrase, and then I say, well, where did that come from? I don't know.
How about in the catch?
That one there in particular really disappointed me. This is a fine kettle of fish, which meant something was unpleasant or messy. But I got to tell you, Amos and Andy, they use that on their show all the time. This is a fine kettle of fish you got me into. And I love that. I love that kind of stuff. Don't take any wooden nickels. But the best one, I think, when I was growing up was Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Oh, I've never heard that.
I've never heard that one.
And I went to look up on correct spelling, right, and it didn't even recognize it. But Heavens to Murgatroyd, it was made popular by a cartoon character.
Really?
His name was Snagglepuss, and Snagglepuss was on the Yogi Bear show all the time, and he was quite a character. And whenever he got in trouble, that was a phrase Heavens to Murgatroyd, and it's a cool phrase. I just like saying it. Makes you feel good when you say Heavens to Murgatroyd.
You're showing your age. You're showing.
So
your
what?
Age.
I said I didn't want to act like my father, but that pink cougar, man, I'll tell you, he was a cool cat. David, this guy would turn around. He'd have his collar turned up. He'd have cuffs. I mean, he had a bow tie. This guy was awesome. He used to drive. Him and Yogi used to drive that Park Ranger absolutely crazy. What was the name of the Park Ranger, Tommy? You remember?
No.
I think it was
I was not a big Yogi Bear fan, Mikey.
Oh, I love that show. Hey, Yogi boy.
I wasn't a big Yogi Bear.
If these nieces will get off the piano, well, Yogi will play for you.
No, I wasn't a big Yogi.
Not a fan, apparently. Not a fan.
No,
but there were a lot of little things that we used to say that they're not here. They're gone. It's tout fini.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah. Doing Thai food tonight. We decided. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it because Ellen is allowing me to go off the rails a little bit. I'm a big Chinese food guy, but she kind of.
What's your favorite Chinese meal?
Well, healthy or unhealthy?
Do both. Do healthy or healthy.
Forget this healthy. You drive me crazy with this freaking.
Come on, we're doing a show here.
You drink booze every single night, and you're worried about eating healthy.
Healthy. Give us two. A healthy one first. Go.
A healthy would be something like a pad thai with some steamed vegetables and chicken.
Oh, well, stay home. Eat a banana.
And I don't know, maybe one other vegetable like peas or something. I mean, green beans or something like sautéed green beans. Unhealthy. I could easily go for side of lo mein, some wings, boneless ribs.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Oh,
Get those arteries plugged up.
And possibly for a main course, General Gao's chicken.
Yeah, General Gao, General So, right?
Yeah, that's
how can you go wrong?
That's as unhealthy as you can get, but boy, it's good. Mike, what about you? I mean, you have, your arteries are all clogged. What do you typically eat?
I know, it's a wonderful thing.
He who eats 16-ounce steaks. But go ahead. What is your Chinese food?
Probably pan-fried noodles, Tom, with jumbo shrimp, chicken breast thinly sliced, flank steak cut on a bias, thinly sliced, with a nice little brown sauce. And they get the noodles and you pan fry them in a little bit of light sauce. It's got bamboo sprouts in it, water chestnuts. To me, man, it's like heaven.
How about ribs? No ribs?
I haven't had that for quite a while. I have to be in the mood. Right now, I've been into this pan-fried noodle thing.
You're also, I know this for a fact because you and I have gone out to Chinese restaurants on several occasions. You're also a poo-poo platter guy.
Yeah,
I like not so much the poo-poo platter, but I like appetizers.
Certain items. David, what about you?
I do enjoy the pad thai. That is very tasty, and I make it extra hot. I think it's called tom yum pad thai. Is the spicier version of it. But if you're going to be unhealthy, I do like anything with the hoisin sauces in it. The General Tso's chicken. So it's breaded chicken fried with sesames on it, all that delicious stuff, and add some peppers in it. Oh, what's great is basil chicken.
Absolutely.
Terribly unhealthy, but it's very spicy. It's it's usually with rice. Oh, it's really hot.
Never had it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this question: is that the way they eat in China? Do they?
Of course
eat?
not.
No.
Of course not. Everything's stir fried.
Yeah.
I saw
nothing's fried out there. David, I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Go.
You live in Dracut. The best takeout in your neighborhood, in your area?
The best takeout. I wish I could pronounce the name. Is a Thai place. Let me look it up. No,
that's all right. I thought maybe you had one in.
No, we order Thai food from this place all the time. I just can't pronounce the damn name.
Mikey, you don't even have a damn Chinese restaurant in Wyndham, do you?
Yeah, we do. Very, very good.
Really?
Very good. After my haircut yesterday, I stopped in. When I got out of my hair, I called up in the car and I ordered that pan-fried noodle dish that I was telling you about.
Nice.
And oh my gosh, for $13, you make 2 meals out of it. It's wonderful.
We have a Thai restaurant down here. It's called Tycoon. It's very good. We've eaten there several times.
Tycoon?
That's a great name.
Yeah. So tonight we'll do. Actually, we're not going into restaurants, as you guys know. So we'll have it. You shipped. DoorDash, and we'll have it delivered here tonight. Kind of looking forward to it. So
the one in Drake is called Tantawan Thai restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
So
does it have a nickname? Does it have a nickname, David? Because I'll never remember that.
Yeah, it's THANTAWAN. Tantawan.
You know, it's really interesting.
Very good.
Because of what's happened with the COVID-19 and the pandemic over the last year, obviously a lot of people point fingers to China, which I think is pretty justifiable. Chinese restaurant businesses in the United States have gone down about 35%, and Thai restaurants businesses have gone up about 35%. Pretty interesting.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that high.
A lot of people seem to be bypassing Chinese restaurants for Thai restaurants out of spite. I guess you call it spite. But very, very interesting. Mikey, what is your favorite if you have one meal, what's your favorite non-Italian meal?
It's got to be meat. It's got to be a steak.
A steak with what? What are the sides?
You know something? Normally, Tommy, I just cook a steak with just mushrooms. I saute mushrooms. I cook it in a little bit of Merlot, garlic, and butter.
No salad.
No. If I'm talking when I'm by myself.
Well, I'm saying typically though. What is?
I would typically have a salad. Maybe some rice. I like rice pilaf.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, sauteed mushrooms. Because you really want to enjoy the steak, so I don't want to have too many, because then you get full, and you really want to sit back, especially if it's a Chairman Reserve steak from Haverhill Beef. Man, I'll tell you, get it 1.5 inches thick, throw it on that grill. Oh,
David, what about you?
Good.
God, for me, I think it kind of varies.
But if you have one dish, it's your last meal. What are you going to have?
Boy, I would probably, I don't know. Right now, I'm heavily into Indian food, so something super spicy, a chicken vindaloo or a lamb vindaloo, extra hot.
Really?
Yeah,
cool.
You can feel the burn.
I go.
See, I don't eat anything I can't pronounce.
I kind of like leaning towards Mike. I kind of go back and forth. My ideal meal would either be, it's one of two. I would go not with a ribeye, Mike, but a really good, thick, juicy New York sirloin steak with a huge, crispy baked potato, a salad, and maybe a side of like either probably Brussels sprouts, believe it or not. My other choice would be 3 really big, juicy lamb chops.
That's what I'm having for. That's what I'm having for supper tonight.
Yeah, good lamb chops, man, with some rice pilaf.
I got them marinating right now. It's funny you mentioned that.
A nice Lebanese salad, and I'm good to go.
How are you cooking the lamb chops, Michael?
They're going to be done on the grill. I've got them marinating in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I got 2 pieces of garlic, 2 cloves of garlic that I diced up. I have some fresh mint I put in, and the juice of a lemon and a half. And I took some zest off the lemon skin.
So, Mike, hold on. What are you using for the spice? Did you say mint?
Yeah.
You don't use rosemary at all, huh?
No, not the lamb. I do. You use mint, you'll never go back to using rosemary.
I've tried
rosemary on a nice prime rib. I buy into that.
I've tried. I tell you, I've tried both.
With mint with fresh lemon juice. Garlic, extra virgin olive oil. You let it sit for 24 hours. Man, you put that on a grill, man. let me tell you.
It's funny. It's funny you're saying that because I've tried both and I like it with mint too. But I like the little rosemary. But then you know what I'll do? I'll put a little rosemary, but then I'll have a little side of mint jelly when I'm having my.
Oh yeah, you got to have mint jelly on the side.
Yeah. No.
But you asked me what I seasoned the roast with. I mean the lamb chops with, and that's all I do. And let me tell you, it really comes out great. It really
another really. Something that I really enjoy, and I haven't had it because I had some allergic reactions, but I know I'm not allergic to it now, is a really good quality baked stuffed lobster. Not a steamed, not a boiled, a baked stuffed lobster that is stuffed with another lobster along with your Ritz crackers.
Ritz crackers.
And then on top of that, you take a cup. I can't eat shrimp, so on top of that, I plop about 4 or 5 scallops, throw it in the oven. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a meal and a half. I remember when Bishops used to serve their 3.5 pound lobster. Every New Year's Eve, that's all I'd order. Man, oh man, what a meal. Oh, that's in the French fries.
We're out of time. Mikey boy, have a great week.
David,
thanks for your help. It was good. Now I'm hungry. I got to go have lunch now because I'm hungry.
Get your Ritz crackers, kid.
Really. With that being said, everybody have a great week. Stay safe. Be very vigilant, as we say every week. This thing's going to go away. Get your shot if you can. And remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone. Have a great week.
Thank you, everybody. Listen, like I always say at the end of the show, anything is possible.
You're right.
Enjoy the weekend.
Have a good week.